Right now at 10 o'clock, there's new fury over the bombshell account from a whistleblower who said Texas troopers have been told to push children into the Rio Grande and deny water to migrants.
Texas lawmakers in a virtual show of force now demanding the Biden administration and Justice Department investigate.
And all new tonight, DPS has identified that whistleblower as Trooper Nicholas Wingate.
He calls himself a proud trooper and medic who believes the border needs to be secured.
But he also wrote in an email first obtained by our partners in the Houston Chronicle that he believes, quote, "We have crossed a line into the inhumane." He also wrote about an encounter with a large group of migrants back on June 25th, saying, quote, "We were given orders to push the people back into the water and go to Mexico," end quote. Now, the trooper also warning about dangers of the new razor wire that was recently installed along the Rio Grande and Eagle Pass. And ABC News obtaining tonight these gruesome photos of injuries the wire has caused. The trooper outlining a series of serious chilling incidents on June 30th alone.
He says a 4-year-old girl passed out after the group she was with was pressed back by the National Guard in 100-degree heat. A man was treated by medics with a major leg wound after rescuing a child who was stuck in a buoy in the water that was wrapped in wire.
He also writes about a 15-year-old who broke his leg in the water after being forced into an area the trooper says was unsafe. And then this, a 19-year-old having a miscarriage while trapped in wire.
Tonight, the state is denying there are any policies that are in place that would endanger migrants, but immigration advocates say lives are literally at stake.
ABC 13's Liliana Pearson is joining us here inside the studio. And Liliana, you talked to a DPS spokesperson and tonight asked him point blank if that whistleblower is lying. What was his response?
I did ask him if that was a lie, and he says that it wasn't, instead telling me that this is a high stress situation at the border that can lead to different interpretations of orders that are given.
Lieutenant Christopher Oliveras with Texas DPS says never were troopers ordered to withhold water from people in distress or physically push people trying to cross the Rio Grande back into the water.
Our troopers have never received any type of directive to physically push a migrant back into the river, especially a child. And also, there is no directive or policy where a trooper can withhold water. We tell the troopers to use their judgment based on observations, based on a medical assessment from our medical staff.
So are you saying that the information, the trooper that sent out that email, that was a lie?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a lie. I would say that, one thing to keep in mind is that we have over 1,400 DPS personnel that are assigned to border operations. These are troopers from all across the state. So with that, you're going to have different points of view, different emotions, different opinions based on what we were doing. A lot of troopers they have not experienced the amount of activity that we have been experiencing. Those troopers that are assigned to the border every single day, when you have 100+ migrants come across, family, children. So this is something new to them. This is a shock factor.
Texas DPS says the wires, buoys, and messaging is to discourage people from making the river crossing. They also tell us they provide water and medical treatment on a case-by-case basis to not incentivize crossings. Las Americas, a humanitarian group on the ground in Texas and Mexico, says adding these obstacles hasn't and won't stop immigrants.
Now, there's real limitations on how you can actually present. You have to use the CBP1 app, which requires that you have a cell phone, that you have a data plan, and that you have internet access. And so those 3 steps need to be held. Obviously, these are people, a lot of them fleeing violence, fleeing political persecution, and don't have many resources. And so it can take time. So if you're trying to then register on this application and then secure an appointment, it can be very difficult to actually, make that happen. And so the lines are long, the wait is uncertain. And so some people, in light of the violence and the lack of safety in northern Mexico, take actions into their own hands.
Now, lawmakers and also immigrant groups have been calling on the Biden administration to step in here. What is the president saying tonight?
Well, we haven't heard from the president just yet, but we have heard from his press secretary. She's saying that if these allegations are in fact true, they are, quote, abhorrent, despicable, and dangerous.